Hi everyone. I don't know about you, but it's been a whirlwind of a week and a day, sort of, in our country and maybe in your personal or professional week also. So I did want to still try and take a few moments to share some thoughts from our weekly Torah portion from the Parsha. So this week's Parsha is Beha'alotcha, when you go up, and it refers to, at least that first word, that first section refers to lighting of the menorah in the sanctuary. And then the rest of the early Torah portion is like the sanctuary final touches, the final plans before the Israelites begin to march through the desert. And then in Numbers chapter 11, in Bimidbar Perek Yud Aleph, we get the first of many complaint stories in the wilderness, when the Israelites complain about food, lack of water, lack of the kind of leadership that they want. And the stories are really the trials and the tribulations of the Israelites. And really, when you read them, really, I invite you to get that sense from the words of the upheaval that sort of the Israelites encountered as they complained and rebelled. So with that said, I want to focus on Numbers chapter 11, which is actually the second of the food complaint stories in the Torah. And I want to take a step back and mention what happens in Exodus 16, Shemot Perek Tet Zayin, when the Israelites are only a few days after leaving Egypt. And they complain to God, they complain to Moses and Aaron actually, and they say, which is a refrain throughout the Torah, did you take us out of Egypt just to kill us? It's really not a question, it's an accusation. And they say, did you take us out to starve us? They are hungry. And I have it in front of me, in Perek Tet Zayin, Pasuk Dalet in verse 4, they say, Tet Zayin, they say, God says, Hinani mamtir lechem min hashemayim. I will rain down bread for you from the heavens. And really God ends up giving them man, the manna from heaven, and also quail. And there's a whole series of subplots. But what I really want to call our attention to in the moment is that the Israelites are just a few days out of Egypt. They're hungry. They're hangry, they're maybe panicked, anxious, and God responds right away with the word hinani, which is a word that's used throughout the Torah, or hineni is used throughout the Torah to really offer a sense of presence. So that brings us to our chapter, Numbers chapter 11, Bimidbar Yud Aleph, where the Israelites, and now it's just a section of them, some of them referred to as the Asaf Suf, which some think is like this mixed multitude, the Erev Rav that we read about earlier, some kind of group of people that came with the Israelites but weren't actually fully Israelite. That's for another Parsha or another time. And they say to God, I also have it in front of me, they say, Hitavu ta'ava. This is actually in the third person. They complained and they said they had a desire, a strong desire. They have a craving, which is different than actually being hungry. And they also say, our throats are dry. Ata nafshenu yavesha, ein kol bilti el haman einenu, except for the man in front of our eyes. So they do have the man, but it's not enough for them. And they go on to list all the great food that they had in Egypt, and they say we had it for free. Really interesting and kind of extreme and disturbing texts. And the commentators certainly pick up on this difference between Exodus 16 and Numbers chapter 11. And one commentary in particular that I want to share with you is from Rashi, that my bar mitzvah student Micah mentioned last week in his Devar Torah, that when the word mitonanim is used in Numbers chapter 11 to complain, where the Israelites, it's different than the word in Exodus 16, in Exodus 11, the Israelites are they're separating themselves from God. Rashi says that they're looking for a pretext. In the medieval commentary, Rashi says they're looking for a pretext to separate themselves from God. And all of this, the comparison between Exodus 16 and Numbers 11, should, I think, make us think about, well, what is the difference sometimes in various ways that we can communicate? Do we communicate out of need, out of desire? What are differences in our needs and desires? And when we communicate, are we pulling people in to connect with us and to bring about a sense of nurturing and sustenance? Or are we pushing away and alienating? So all these Torah portions in Numbers really, I think, invite us to think about communication. And this one in particular, I think, asks us to look inward and think about, is it something I need? Is it something I want? And then how am I communicating that? And am I inviting in nurturing and sustenance? So I wish you a Shabbat Shalom, thinking about nurturing and sustenance and need and desire, and invite us to continue to think about these topics as we make our way through the wilderness in the book of Numbers. Shabbat Shalom.